I wanted to focus a bit more on the genetic side of things today, because something that genuinely makes me sad is when I hear people say their health condition is genetic and there's nothing more that can be done about that. It brings us back to the topic of epigenetics, in other words, how our environment influences our gene expression. How can identical twins have the exact same genetics, but only one have a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and the other not, if bipolar disorder is indeed genetic? It makes no sense at first glance. Because surely the same genes means the same health outcomes. Not so fast. Mitochondria are involved, again, when it comes to turning genes on and off. The science is incredibly complex and I won't bore you with that today, but I do want to mention some research that was published in 2023. The research I'm referring to is talking about how beta-hydroxybutyrate, a ketone body, affects epigenetics through multiple mechanisms. You see, we produce ketone bodies when our carbohydrate intake has been lowered enough that the body changes to burning fat for fuel rather than glucose. We were born in ketosis, so it's a perfectly natural state to be in. And when it comes to epigenetics, histones are involved in this process, and ketone bodies have been shown to affect methylation and acetylation of key histones involved in gene transcription. You can think of beta-hydroxybutyrate as acting as a key signaling molecule in the body. In other research, for example, beta-hydroxybutyrate has been shown to preserve mitochondrial function, and yet more research refers to ketone bodies as being capable of modifying inflammation and the epigenetics of heart disease, as well as many other metabolic disorders. A quote from one particular study was that beta-hydroxybutyrate promotes the transcription of multiple genes. So what does this mean for mental health disorders? It means that although there can be a genetic component, we are ultimately in control of our gene expression. In other words, whether more problematic genes that confer an increased risk of illness are switched on or switched off. And being in a state of nutritional ketosis can lead to epigenetic changes that ultimately reduce the risk of mental health symptoms.